All right. Welcome to Yet. We were in our last episode for the year here in 2024. And as you guys know, we were scheduled to come on uh, on Monday, but unfortunately, I was having some major technical difficulties, and they actually kind of changed the format up on me, and I was having problems trying to figure out how to navigate my way through it. So therefore, we end up having to cancel for Monday. So I got notes all over the place from Miss Katrina and myself have been going over before Monday have came. So I'm gonna skip over a lot of things today, guys, and I'm just gonna really just go ahead and kind of get into things, and we'll just get started with the show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us today, and I'm very excited to have Miss Katrina Prince. And just so you guys know, as far as we both know, there's no relation. We don't know. We haven't figured that part out yet, but we are, like I said, I'm extremely happy to have her here with us today, and have her share her story and tell us a little bit about Miss Katrina. Trina, are you able to hear me?
I am here. I can hear you. Hi,
You can hear me good.
everybody.
Okay. Just want to make sure you can hear me. Great. All right. Trina, like I was saying, I was just gonna kind of just go ahead and jump into things in a few minutes. But I do want to let everybody know that again, this is the final show for the year 2024. We'll pick back up the first Monday of January. Will be the next show that we will be doing, and I'm working on my guests for that time. And between now and then, I definitely will be getting on here and playing around with this Restream and trying to familiarize myself with how to use the new system. And again, I just kind of waited too late to get in there and play with this thing. And I was just totally lost when her and I got on Monday evening. I didn't know what to do. And then on her end, she ended up having some stuff that came up as well. So it worked out, good, that we weren't able to get the show going because we probably would end up having to cut things short anyway. But with that being said, Trina, I just want to kind of go ahead and kind of dive into things. And before we get into talking about, your stroke and, life as it is today and stuff like that, can you take a minute and kind of just go through and just tell us a little bit about yourself before your stroke?
Ooh, before my stroke, I was what they call a workaholic. Like, I worked two jobs and I was going to work. If I was going to one job, leaving that job, going to another job, and that was 7 days a week.
You did it 7 days
After
a
the
week.
stroke, 7 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
On the weekends, I worked one job, but I worked 7 days a week.
Okay.
So I was a busybody.
A busybody.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. So with that being said, how long ago was it since you had your stroke?
Monday made it 7 years. Exactly. If we would have did the show Monday, the exact time we would have been on was the exact time that I was rushed to the hospital 7 years ago.
So Monday was your stroke anniversary. Actually.
Yes.
Okay, well happy stroke anniversary to you.
I'm still standing.
Wow. Okay. So 7 years on this past Monday. And so that was what, December the 2nd. All right, so
Hmm.
Do you know what type of stroke you had?
Yes, let me try to pronounce it right. A hemorrhage, a hemorrhagic stroke.
Hemorrhage.
Hemorrhage.
It
There
just
you
hemorrhage.
go.
Yeah, I had the same type I had. Yeah, I had the same type of stroke. And what was it that they said that possibly led up to your stroke?
High blood pressure. It was a lot. It was a lot of different factors. Like
A combination of
I
different
was on
things.
the yes, I was on like the roller coaster of life at that point because I had been going through something since 2009. I lost my oldest sister. 2000 2014, I lost my mama. Beginning of 2015, I lost my daddy. And then 2017, I had a stroke. So I get grieving and going through all that led up to my stroke.
Oh wow,
So it was being unhealthy, high blood pressure, depression, grieving, just a whole bunch of stuff.
whole bunch. Okay, yeah, that was a lot to deal with there.
Yeah,
That's a lot to deal with. I can't even
yeah.
imagine. Yeah. So like myself, I had my stroke. It'll be 4 years this upcoming Valentine's Day, and
Mm,
about 6 months, yeah, about 6, 7 months after my stroke, we lost our mother. My mother passed away,
mm,
so I can kind of relate, you know,
mm,
to what you was dealing with during that time, because I know the toll that it took on me and
mm,
everything. Because I was actually doing real good with therapy and trying to bounce back. When we lost mom,
mm.
I just kind of went in a slump. I didn't want to do anything,
Yeah,
so it was rough to deal with. So
yeah.
hemorrhage stroke. So it affected your which side did it
My left
affect?
side. It affected
Okay,
my
I
left
remember.
side.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was kind of different for me because everyone that I have spoken with and talked with in the past that have dealt with the hemorrhage stroke, it normally affects the right side of the body. It affects the
Hmm.
left side of the brain, but if it affects the right side of the body. And you're the first person I met that's actually dealing with it, on the opposite side. So
Hmm. You,
I think
you
I
know, we
mentioned
talked
to you
about
that,
it.
yeah,
I said we talked about. And I was telling you that my dominant side was my left side. So I was kind of thinking like,
yeah,
is
maybe
that
that's
something to
maybe
think
it's
about?
on the side that it affects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's something else, man. And so, like we said, leading up to it, most of all was high blood pressure, uh,
Hmm.
and all the stress and stuff you're dealing with. Because I dealt with high blood pressure as well, and I was
Yeah.
on blood pressure medicine during the time when I had my stroke. But me being, like most of us, I didn't do a great job of making sure that I took my meds like I supposed to, and
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
yeah, and I'm paying for it. Where I end up,
Hmm.
in the situation I'm in right now. So I try to tell, you know, my brothers. I talk to them a lot, about their blood pressure, making sure that they're taking their medicine like they should. And then I got several
Yeah.
friends, that have some high demanding jobs, kind of like myself as well. When I was
Hmm.
working, I had to tell her that, bro, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you are taking your medicine like you're supposed to. And on top of that, making sure that you're getting proper rest because that's another thing that people don't realize.
Yeah.
Not getting the proper rest has a lot to do with having
Hmm.
which you end up having a stroke or whatnot. And
And I would say to
Go ahead.
that, ask questions because
Yes.
during that time I was diagnosed as being a diabetic, and they just called me and told me to go get my prescription, but I never took our time to ask questions about it. So I'm going around thinking the things that I wasn't eating was good for me when they wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
So
A
you
lot.
have
You
to
know, it has
educate
a
our
lot to do with what you put in your body.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to see why this thing ain't running on one of the platforms for some reason. But all right. So before your stroke, I know you say you worked two jobs. So what was the main job?
My
Was that
main
the
job,
university?
yes, I was at Texas
Okay.
A&M. Don't say nothing about
Right. Yeah.
it.
Look, let me catch y'all Trina right quick. That was gonna be part of my opening today, guys. But I was gonna mess with Trina about the game, because you know uh, I knew that she worked at Texas A&M, and she from Texas, of course. And I was gonna mess with her about the game against Texas because they just started back playing Texas after I want to say
Hmm.
25 plus years. I can't remember exactly how many years it is, but I know it's a lot of years. But anyway, I was gonna mess with her about the game. So with the technical difficulties I've been dealing with, man, I just got all thrown off of my format on how I wanted to start everything off and everything. So
And
yeah, I
Monday
knew
I
it
was
was
dressed in all black too.
say it again.
I said Monday I was dressed in all black. I was gonna come and tell you how sad I was.
You say you're sad.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm glad. Our rivalry here in Alabama. Our rivalry is Auburn, which is in Alabama as well. I live in Tuscaloosa, the home of Crimson Tide, Roll Tide. So
Mhm.
our rivalry is so big, man, to where when we lose a game, when we lose to Auburn, it's like, man, you talking about people go crazy and lose their mind, and it's vice
Mhm.
versa when they lose to us. But fortunately, we have beat them the last 5 years, so I haven't had to experience that losing side for a
It's
while.
good.
So I'm sitting pretty good right now on that. So I'm thankful for that. hmm
I'm
Hey,
happy
so
for
you worked
you.
at Texas A&M as your main job, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
All right. So tell us about a little bit about your family history. Are you married? Kids?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't have any kids, but
Okay.
when I say my babies or my kids, I'm talking about my sister kids. My sister that passed
All
away
right.
had 3 kids, and now she has 11 grandkids. So those are my babies.
Those your babies. Okay.
Those are
So
my
you got
babies.
three nieces, nephews.
I have
And,
3 nephews, one niece. I have 6, 7 great nephews, and 2 great nieces, and all this is from my older sister that passed legacy. So
oh
I
man,
am
they keep you
grateful to
busy.
still be here standing in her position.
There you go. There you go. That's a blessing right there. And then you taking, have taken that torch and you helping raise and take care of your not just your sister kids, but also her grandkids. So
Yes.
that's awesome. That's pretty good. And we've been knowing each other for some months now. I can't remember how
Yes.
many it is, but what
Three
you
or
think? I
four.
can't remember. About 3 or 4
Probably about
months.
three or
So
four.
okay, so that's something I never known. As much as we cut up and talk, I never known, that part of, the kids and stuff. You know,
Mm.
I remember them being over for your birthday, which we don't go into all
Yeah.
that.
Let's go. We're not gonna go into
But I
that.
remember them
What
coming to chill
goes
with
on
TT
is
for her
on.
birthday. Oh man. So look here, what were there anything you can think of that may have led up to having a stroke? I know you said,
Um,
about your mother,
mhm.
your family history and stuff, but was that like was there a lot of stress and stuff that you were dealing with on the job, with the job itself or
No,
individuals or anything?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes, you know, when they say when you hold on to stuff, it can hurt you more than just letting it go. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
holding on to the
that's
death of my
that's
family,
good.
and it was just killing me in the inside. You know, it just going through reliving everything. I was the one that had to sign the papers to take my mama off of life support, and I relived that every single day.
Mm,
And so it just broke me down.
I got you. Woo, okay. So is there any emotional moments that you look back at in the past that you dealt with that just cracks you up, just keep you laughing and just have you like in a full of spirit?
Yes, I think about this moment all the time. At the beginning of my stroke, okay, so I like to wear wigs. And I
Okay.
remember sitting in the wheelchair and I was trying to put my wig on. I couldn't, so I called my sister and I was crying. I'm talking about I was boohooing. And she hung up. I heard the phone drop and she come through. Maybe about 5 or 10 minutes later, she come through the door and she say, "Sissy, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And I say, "I can't put on my wig." And she say, "You had me
And you were
driving
crying.
bad over here with the flashes on just because you couldn't put on your wig." I said, "Yeah," and I was holding it. And she say, "Oh, Sissy." And she grabbed the wig and just threw it on top of my head. And we looked at each other and just bust out laughing. And like at that moment,
Oh my
it was
goodness.
like, it wasn't even that serious.
Wow.
But Jordan
Yeah,
had
it's
crushed my
amazing, man.
feelings.
Yeah, because I'd had many moments like that myself where I may not have been able to do something. I can't let it come to me right now exactly what it is, but I call my daughter and maybe talk to her about it on the phone, or either I have her come
Mhm.
over here and kind of help me with something, walk me through it. And my daughter, I love her so much. I do. I love all my kids. I got three. But my oldest daughter, that's my ride or die. She gonna be there for her daddy, Don't none of them play about their daddy, but she definitely don't play about me. And
Yeah.
and she gonna come check on me. Whether she want to do it or not, she gonna come and check on me and see what I need or whatever.
Mhm.
And sometimes when she come and she helped me in the past, and I got a whole lot better. I needed to do something, and like I said, she's so aggressive in the way that she be talking to me. She don't be trying to be mean. I just take it like she being mean, and I just
Mhm.
break down and start crying, and then I can just see it in her face like I done hurt her feelings, because she
Yeah.
feel like she done hurt me. But man, it's amazing how the brain work and how emotional you get
Mhm.
when you're dealing with stuff like this. So I can relate to it absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. So on that note, what now you may be different than I am in this, and I'm sure a lot of other survivors out there probably feel the same. Everybody have their own way about how they approach things and deal with things. Like for example, myself, I try my best not to set goals. Now I want to accomplish things and do things, but I try not to set goals because if I don't reach that goal, then I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
So uh, I guess the best way to ask the question is, what are some of the things that Katrina is looking forward at getting into or getting better at, and beginning to do or whatnot?
That's a hard question.
Okay,
Um, right now I'm kind of open. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really relearning myself. I
gotcha.
have
Yeah.
embraced the fact that and accepted the fact that there's no getting back to the old me.
No,
That
right,
person
exactly.
is
And
gone.
I say that all the time.
Mhm.
I'm not the same person. I will never be the same person. And it took me a while
Yeah,
to accept that, but we'll never be the same. We got an
yeah, yeah.
opportunity to be better than where we at right now, but we will never
Mhm.
be the same.
And it's like I used to get upset when people would ask me the question, "Are you back to normal?" And so now I have a better way to answer that. Well, if you expect me to be the same person I was, you can forget that because that person is no longer me. That part of my
Exactly.
life is over with. So
Right.
I'm accepting me. I'm getting to know me now. I guess I'm looking forward to is open, like trying different stuff, what I
Okay.
like, what I don't like, learning more things, and just being more open minded.
I got you. So, is there anything particular that you are kind of like focused on where you want to be at, or something that you have in mind that you want to work on or start doing, but there's part of you just kind of scared to step out there on faith and to make it happen?
Yes,
Okay.
I have this statement that I go by. I represent myself as beauty and courage, and it stands for having the courage to see the struggles, to see the beauty in your everyday struggles.
Hmm.
And the reason why I feel in my heart and in my soul and in my spirit that as a plus size woman, we were all, before I was suffering with low self esteem, how society is with plus size people. And
Okay.
then on top of having a stroke, that really, it's like two things. And I want to represent as a plus size stroke survivor that we are still beautiful and that we are still sexy and that we are still 100% woman no matter what.
Right. Okay. That's good. I like that. So, knowing that now, is something that I would do on my end to try to encourage and to get you to get it out there more, because you are exactly right. And it won't only encourage other you know stroke survivors, it would just encourage women overall, because there
Mm,
are plus size people out there that not happy with the way that life is, and they give up on a lot of things, that don't try to do better, anything like that. So I think that's good, and I think it would be very helpful to others out there. You know, and I know
thank
the
you.
main folks that definitely try to help those other stroke survivors, because it's hard enough. And you and I had this conversation maybe the other day or last week, where we
Hmm.
talk about it's hard enough just to get up and do the simple things.
Yeah.
For example, when we get through with this call today, just for me to get up out this chair and then go to the living room. Actually, I gotta go to the kitchen and start getting some things together, and whatnot. But just the effort that it takes for me to get up and to walk those
Hmm.
25 to 30 steps, which is really about 14 to 15 steps, if I'm taking the big steps like I'm supposed to.
Hmm.
But sometimes I get scared and nervous, and I take little baby steps. And
Yeah.
my therapist came all the time. You got to step bigger. When you walk, you got to, your steps got to be much larger than what they are. And that's they tell me that's a lot of the problem that'll happen with getting my leg to bend like I would like for it to bend and stuff. With the I can't never get the word. I can't never pronounce it. Spasticity.
Yes,
Spasticity.
I have the same
I just
problem.
yeah, I just say tone, but the stiffness of the leg, it's just always so stiff and hard to get to move. But yeah, I deal with that a lot. So yeah, it's just a lot of times, just the small things that we have to do. It takes a lot of energy to do that.
Yeah. I deal with
I
trying
can
to
remember.
think, like thinking
Oh yeah,
when I walk
yeah,
and
that has
bend
a
your
lot to do
knee.
with it because
Yeah. You,
I have a friend, Angie, which is a stroke survivor. And she also had aphasia real bad, and I'm trying to convince her and get her to come on to the show and to tell her
okay.
story. But now the other day we talked, she said she gonna actually do it. So we're gonna get together and kind of work on the best way we need to do things to get it going or whatnot. But I'm studying a lot right now myself on the different parts of the brain. I want to say it's a total of 6 different parts. I can't sit here and name you all 6 of them right now. Uh, but the memory part, I know it has to do with the frontal. That's a lot to do with your
Hmm.
memory part that you're speaking of. Uh, the parietal lobe. It's the frontal lobe and the parietal lobe. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, so y'all please excuse me. But the parietal lobe, it has a lot to do with the language. It has a lot to do with your slurring, which
Yeah.
people say that I speak well, but I can tell that I do a lot of slurring when I speak.
Hmm.
And most aphasia stroke survivors, they deal with a lot of that as well. And like you mentioned, a lot of the memory loss. Now, my memory loss is it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I do deal with that a lot as well. And then the op, I can't say it. Octolo, I'm not pronouncing that right. I know I'm not pronouncing it right. It don't even sound right. But the one that started with the optical lobe, it actually deal with your eyesight. Now I noticed that a lot of stroke survivors that I've talked with and dealt with, they they always talk about how the stroke affected their sight a lot. And I know you had a doctor's appointment yesterday, maybe.
Yes, I had an eye doctor appointment
Okay,
yesterday, and
okay.
actually he
Now,
told
what's
me that
your
my eyesight is good. It's better than what it's ever been.
That's exactly what I was about to say because that's what I'm dealing with. When I was before my stroke, I used to wear reading glasses. Like
Hmm.
you give me a piece of paper. I pick up my phone to try to read or get on the computer to try to read emails and stuff like that at work. I used to be like running around talking where my glasses at, and my employees be like,
Hmm.
"Mr. JP, they on top of your head." I'd be like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh man." Yeah, it was bad. So I used to have my reading glasses on all the time, but it did that total opposite to me when I had my stroke. My eyesight got better, kind of like what you just said. Like right now,
Hmm.
I don't use my reading glasses when I read now.
Hmm.
I come back and get on the computer. I can sit here and work on the computer with no problem. Get on the phone with no problem. When I'm reading my David Word, I'm reading my Bible. I don't have to have my glasses at all. Now, sometimes when I'm looking at mail, depending on what mail is, some of that stuff is the small print be very small. I may have to pull them off
Yeah.
of that, but 85, 90% of the time, I don't have to wear them at all. So it
Now
kind
I
of
need
helped me
my
a little
babies.
bit. What you say?
You, I need my babies. You take these off, it's blackout. You just
What you said? Blackout.
it's blackout. Ain't nothing.
Oh wow. Oh man. All right. So one thing that I do want to go back and mention, which I normally do this at the beginning of this show, I like to talk about the word fast, FAST. Have you ever heard the saying with fast, what it stands for a
Yes,
stroke
yes,
victims?
but I can't get all the
Okay, so fast,
comes
the
and
F
goes.
is for face drop. When you notice someone may have a face drop. The A is for the arm. You know, when the lifting of the arm, you know how we have to lift our arm up. Can't just lift
Mm-hmm.
it up by so which I can actually lift mine up a little bit. Nothing like our girl Joyce. Joyce showing out. But
Yeah,
I
ain't
can
she
get like
showing out?
see I can get up there. So that's about the best I can do right there. But I couldn't do that a year ago. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, I can do that 6 months ago. Yeah, I know I can do that 6 months ago. So I can get up there. But
You can get
it's
up to.
it's a marathon. It's not a race. We got
Mm-hmm.
to. It's gonna take time to get there. We got to trust the process. And we talked about that a lot before in our one-on-one, just communicating with one another. But like I'm saying, fast. The word, the letter F is for face drop. The A is for arm. You know, arm slumping down or whatnot. And then S is for speech. If you notice slur in their speaking, excuse me. And then the T is for time. I mean, it's time to get help and to call 911. So I like to talk about that, fast to make sure that people out there are aware that if they notice that they're around anyone, they notice that those things are happening, then that's a sign of a stroke. So you need to
Yeah.
make sure you get them some attention. The sooner you get the attention, the better it is to help with the stroke not being so damaged to that individual
Mm-hmm.
because over 100, I think I told you about 150 million brain cells is lost like every minute when you're
In a
going through a
minute.
stroke. So
Mm.
so that's a lot that that you're dealing with. Now myself, when I first had my stroke, I don't know if I ever mentioned it to you, but those that maybe I don't have heard this before, when I shared my testimony was that, I laid out in the parking lot for 4 hours before I got any help at all.
Mm.
So when they did get me to the hospital, when I came out of my coma, 3 or 4 days later, and the doctor was talking to my family and stuff, they were saying, it was a great thing that, they got him here when we got him here when we did, because it would have been a whole lot worse than what it is.
Yeah.
And then also, the bad side of it was when I was still late getting there because there was a lot of damage done. I couldn't walk. They even told me that
Mhm.
I would never walk again. Which you and I both know
Mm.
that we don't listen to that.
Yeah, we don't listen to
We got
them.
the man above. The man above is he the one that got the last call on what's gonna happen with our recovery and so on. He saved us for a reason. And
Yeah.
that's why we try to do the things that we're doing now, to reach out to other survivors and let them know not to quit, not to give up,
Yeah.
always trying to work, always doing something. I don't care, like in our group chat, I know I always put in there, I don't care how much you can do. If you can only do 5 minutes, do it. Do it every single day. If it's 30 minutes, do it every single day. If it's an hour, do it every single day. If you like our girl Joy, do 4 hours every single day. Joy be going every day hard. When I say she go hard in the paint, Joy go hard in the paint.
Yes, she
And I
do.
can't. I
She
think
do.
what Joy what 10 years, 10, 14
10.
years stroke.
It's either 9 or
Oh,
10.
so she yeah. So she's doing great, man. I'm so proud of her. She's doing awesome. So with that being said, I was gonna mention too that on my end, I can remember when I had my, when I the night when I had my stroke, it was on Valentine's Day. I was leaving work and I had got a call from my boss to see how far out I was from my restaurant. And I had just left my restaurant. I wasn't even gone 5 minutes. So they needed some to-go boxes at another location. And he asked me to bring some to-go boxes by. So I told him, yes, sir, no problem. I'll do that. So I looped around and went back and got the to-go boxes. Head on back to go to the restaurant to take them the to-go boxes. And I can remember going in now. I didn't this didn't cross me, Trina, until about eight months to a year ago. You know how we just sit around, we just think about the things that we'd have been through and what you should do or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
just thinking about the night that I had my stroke. And I can remember one of the servers at the other location that I went to. When I walked in, I was like, "Hey, where's so and so at?" They back there back. So I took the boxes to the back, and as I come back through, she said, "JP, you doing all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing good, baby. How you doing?" She said, "You just don't look right." I said, "Valentine's Day, I'm tired. I've been at work since 8 o'clock this morning. It's like 9 o'clock at night right now. Then I commuted like an hour back and forth to work. So I'm just thinking, I'm tired. But had she known and had I known, I was dealing with fast at that time.
Mm-hmm.
My face had to be dropping at that time. And she noticed it. But anyway, I got in my car to leave to head home, which I lived about 7 or 8 minutes away from the location I was at. And halfway home, I'm thinking my car is not accelerating. I'm thinking something wrong with my car. So I
Hmm.
pull over into a parking lot, to a Walgreens parking lot, so I can get out and see what's going on with the car. When I step out the car, you stepping out with your left side first. So when I stepped out the car,
Mm-hmm.
my left side, and then I brought the rest of my body around, I stood up, Trina. I fell flat on my face,
Yeah, flat on your face.
and I was down there for 4 hours. So I say that to say that it's important to know the signs of people having a stroke, because had she known or had I known at the time, we probably could have caught it way before it got as bad as it got.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I do what I do. We try to share the little bit that I do get, and I do learn with as many people as I can, because it's important that you know the different
Yeah.
signs of a person having a stroke.
I can totally
You know.
understand that because if I wouldn't have had nobody with me, I would have never thought to go to the hospital. I probably would be like, "Oh, I'm just tired. I'm gonna take a nap," knowing that my
Oh yeah,
arm was no.
yeah.
So,
Now that I did talk to several people that have had strokes, that had them in their sleep.
mm,
So like you said, it's good that you knew something was going on and you decided to go to the
well,
hospital to get
I
checked.
actually was getting in the bed to go take a nap so I can go to work that night. And as I was getting in the
Mm,
bed, I lost feeling in my arm. And I was like, okay, I didn't know what was going on. But in my mind, I'm saying it's not serious for me to have to go to the doctor.
right.
I just need to take a nap. And looking below, I
Mm,
woke up to a whole paralyzed left side.
mm, mm, mm. And how much time did you spend in the hospital?
A month.
Did I ask that question? I don't think I did. How
Mhm.
long?
I was in the hospital for about a week, and then I went to the rehabilitation for a month.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think mine was about the same. I think I did about
Mhm.
4 or 5 days in the hospital, and then I did about a month, 3 weeks to a month in rehab myself. And I got another young lady that I need to try to get on as well. Tammy Paul.
Mhm.
I call her Tammy Paul, and I call her that because she always falling, and it's a joke to her. I know it's dangerous. Don't get me wrong. By all means, I understand and I know that it's dangerous. But she she like to crack jokes about it. That's just her way of dealing with it. Whenever she fall,
Mhm.
she like to crack jokes about it. But anyway, Terry spent, I want to say, 7 months. She spent like 7 or 8 months in the hospital when she had her
Mhm.
stroke, and she had to have brain surgery. They had to go in and do a lot of brain work, because they do give you medicine. I don't know if they did it for you or not. Did you have any brain damage at all?
No, the bleed. They waited 24 hours, and the bleeding stopped. So
Okay.
that was a good thing.
And
They
that
didn't
was
have
that
to
was my
back up.
deal too. I did have some bleeding on my brain, but it was slow. It was slow bleeding, and they gave me some medicine for it, and they was telling my family that their plans were hopefully if the medicine stops the bleeding, we won't have to go in. But
Hmm.
otherwise, they would have had to go in to do it. But thank God they didn't have to go in to do it. But yeah, she had back to Tammy, but Tammy had to have brain surgery, and she is doing great as well, man. She's on TikTok. She usually share a lot of her workouts and stuff that she's doing on TikTok. So she's come a long way, and I think me and Tam been knowing each other for about 6 or 7 months, if not a little longer than that. And when I first met her, she wasn't walking. She was in a wheelchair, but she out that wheelchair. She liked joy. She dancing. She loved to have a good time. So uh, it just everybody's stroke is different, and the work that you put in is what you're gonna get out of it. If you don't put
Yeah.
in the work in, you're not getting anything out of it. And then also you have to, people have to understand that it's never too late. You know, even if you haven't done that, then but sit around for, I'm just gonna say 15 years and just haven't done any kind of work. It's not too late. You can still do it. And it's gonna be harder. It's gonna take a whole lot
Mhm.
more work for you to bounce back and to get any kind of improvement. But the improvement can happen. You just have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And can't nobody, you got to want to do it to do it. It ain't
I
all nobody
lose
but you.
like,
Only yourself can hold you back. Say it
you
again.
know, I would say I lose like, I'm not gonna say motivation. Like you say, sometimes you want to quit, and we don't see no improvements. You want to just stop, and then you have to start back over. Because I'm a person that didn't have therapy until like 2 years after my stroke.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I came
and
home.
I can relate to that when you stop and having to start back because I'm dealing with that right now. You
Mhm.
remember I told you a couple of weeks ago how I messed my toe up,
Yeah.
and since when I messed my toe up, man, I just I couldn't do anything. I could barely put any pressure on it. I couldn't do anything. So I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going to PT. I wasn't doing nothing. And I just started back doing my workouts and stuff around the house. Uh, Monday, once we weren't able to get on, I got
Mm-hmm.
up and got, started being busy, then get myself, busy to get my mind off of being upset about not being able to do the show. But when I tell you it's a little bit better this morning, but when I tell you my thighs and my arms, my shoulder blades,
Mm-hmm.
they are so sore, man. I feel like back in the day when I was a youngster and we were having to practice football twice a day when I was young. That's the kind of soreness that I'm feeling right now. But
Well,
I
that's a
know,
good thing. At least
yeah,
you felt
it's a
young
good
again.
thing. Wouldn't say at least I felt young again.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh girl, you crazy. That's pretty good one right there. Yeah, I
That's the
feel young for a
beauty.
little bit.
Look, that's the
Yeah,
beauty in your
it's
everyday struggles.
yeah, it feels a whole lot better. And I'm working on a lot of different things because I already know what you're gonna say when I say this, but I wanna start I love to cook.
Okay.
So I wanna start doing some shows, some cooking shows for stroke survivors that are not in the kitchen that show them that hey, even though you only got use of one of your arms for right now, you can't use the other one yet, as I like to say. You can still get in that kitchen and you can make things happen with the one hand. So I want to do some little small little recipes, little come up with some little dishes to show them that they can make and stuff like that, to where they can start make them feel more independent and just
Yeah.
encourage them, get them, you know, that little. Sometimes I'll take just a little encouragement, just somebody to show you that it can be done. And when you see that it can be
Yeah.
done, most people get up and do something. My thing is, out of all the times I do this, if I don't touch them but one person, and I get this from Jerry Ward. I don't know if you ever been on Jerry's show before, ever listened to
Yeah.
him, but I give you his information. But Jerry Ward, he said that all the time. If we just touch one person, then we did our job. And that's all it is. I just want to be able to encourage one person.
Of course.
Because that one that I encourage, they may go encourage 10 other ones. So I just
There
encourage
you
11
go.
people. You see? So just like I'm going to work on encourage you to go ahead and do your thing that you're talking about for plus sides, we're gonna make that
The plus
happen.
side. Okay.
You're gonna make it happen. You can do it. I know you can.
Look, team
Mhm.
up with
So
Joy, cause she been
say it again.
team up with Joy, cause she been trying to work on me for a while now.
Hey, when I tell you that Joy got so much in her head, it's something else. And speaking of her, what I'm about to do right now is I'm about to talk about a couple of other people that has their shows, and I'm gonna mention Joy, but I can't go into details because I know you know more about her show and when she run her days and stuff like that. I would like for you to mention that. Okay. But before that, I want to go back and mention Jerry Jerry Ward again. Jerry Ward, he has a show, Scribe for Greatness is what he called it. And Jerry runs on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock. And Jerry been doing it for quite some time. Matter of fact, it kind of being on his show and watching his show every Tuesday and Thursday morning kind of what motivated me and gave me the energy to start doing it myself. So
Okay.
I definitely want to give, thanks to Jerry for that. And I also I had to mention Miss Lynette Price. Miss Lynette Price comes on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. So you got Jerry on Tuesday and Thursday daytime at 10 a.m. Then you got Miss Lynette on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. She has a great one too, and I give credit to Miss Lynette and those that follow me and have been on my show. They probably tired of hearing me say this, but I give my water intake. I give
Mm-hmm.
all that credit to Miss Lynette because I was bad when it came down to drinking water before my stroke. During the stroke, I was bad. But watching one of her shows over probably been about 2 years now. But watching one of her shows over 2 years ago, and she talked about the importance of drinking water. The first thing in the morning, how it uh, helps with your brain to help get you motivated and get you going and get you thinking right, getting all those cells and everything working. I started drinking water like that woman told, like she mentioned, and I started seeing a big difference, a big difference. So I'm at a point now, Trina, to where I drink at least 7 or 8 of these. This like 20 ounces. I drink like
Oh,
7 or 8 of those a day, every day of water. And I
you
and I can
pour
tell a
real
big
good.
difference in it. And also, I'm not saying that this is the main reason, but I'm sure it got a lot to do with it. I went from being on 4 blood pressure medicine to down to 1 blood pressure medicine,
Mm,
and I'm sure it has a lot to do with you know the different things that you put in your body with your diet overall, and then the water
mm.
intake that you're taking. So it's very important. All right, so I guess now, if you don't mind, I know we have talked about a lot here, and I want to thank everyone that was tuning in with us today. We definitely appreciate you. But Miss Trina, if you would, what encouraging words would you like to leave for those stroke warriors out there? What would you like to tell them?
I would tell them, remember that you have the strength to keep pushing through, and you still have the courage in you to see the beauty in your everyday struggles to get to what's yet to come.
All right, that's good. Well, I appreciate it. And y'all always know what mine is: fight, fight, fight.
But
That's it, baby. We got to make a difference. But look, again, Miss Trina, I really appreciate you very much, dear.
I appreciate
And
you.
if we don't talk later today, I already know we'll talk tomorrow because we got
It's
our group
Friday.
happy hour at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
We come on every Friday at 5 o'clock, and we get on there. We have a great time. Just enjoy one
Join
another.
us,
It's
join
good.
us.
It's good time, huh?
I said, maybe if they want to join us, join us.
Oh yeah, please join us. Oh, I'm sorry. And the information, do you know the times that Joy come on? Because I don't know her times. That's why I didn't mention it.
You will give me the hardest person. Joy has so much stuff going on that
I know it,
I'm
man.
sure she's watching. So anybody that's watching and want to know about strengthening you, she will put the information. She has a broadcast strengthening you. She has a aerobic class, exercise class on Thursdays. She does strokes of humor. It's just so much, so I can't just give you every date and every time. But
I
I'm sure
got you.
she's
Yeah.
watching, and she will put all her information out there. But if you go to Strengthen You page, you can find what you're looking
Okay. So strengthen you. Got you. Got you. And also those of you that are not following me on YouTube, please follow me on YouTube. Uh, It's at John Prince 21421. 21421. At John Prince 21421. All right, guys. Again, thank y'all very much for tuning in. And one last time, thank you again, Miss Katrina. I love you, girl, and
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
talk with you tomorrow, 5
Okay,
o'clock.
okay, bye. Thank you.
All right, bye bye.